In this video, we are going to continue with the for loops, and right now you can see we want to look at an example of for loops for a string. So here we have a string variable Milton Friedman, and we want to go and read it. So we are going to apply a for loop to it. So right now what we are going to do is just to print the characters. So car will come in and take everything that is in there. So here we go, we just put print car and we can run it, shift enter, and let's wait for a few seconds, and there we go. So you can see how it prints it prints each character from that set. So let's take a look at an example where we are going to look at how to use the for loop for a numeric type. Now we want to use range. Range will automatically generate a range, as the name says. So it's going to be a range from 0 to 5. So for example, if we choose to put print here, and you know we always use what's here, I'll use shift enter, and here that's what's printed. But we can make something much more interesting. Rather than just letting it print that, I can adjust this using print year. Now year, so this string will be printed, this will be the 0 to 5, and this is just another string. So I'll say shift enter. So this is how you can do things. This is automatically printed from this range. However, all these other things are things I've provided. So this comes before this automatically printed thing, and this comes after. So that's just cool. Now let's move on. Okay, now let's do something similar to what we just did here. But this time we are not going to ask it to automatically generate a range. Here we are saying that generate a range between 3,000 to 8,000 and skip 1,000. So it's just a GDP range. These are dummy values. So it will likely go from 3,000, 4, 5, 6. So it's skipping 1,000 each time, but it goes between 3 to 8,000. So let's generate something similar to this so that it doesn't just spit out numbers, but it includes a statement that makes a bit of sense. So here we go, print GDP, blah, blah, blah. Now this, what you see here, GDP is exactly what is here, and it's going to spit out the things you have here. Let's go with shift enter, and there we go. So you can see it's between 3,000 to 8,000 exclusive. It won't print out exactly 8,000. It will start from 3,000 though. So as you can see in this next example, we are doing something very similar to what we just did there. You can see it's a range going from, this one is from 3,000 to 8,000. This is from 2 to 14 with a step of 2. And here we go with a print statement, print inflation rate. And the inflation rate is what we've given here. That's what we are placing here. You can see it's not in any sort of quotes or brackets, and shift enter will do the job. And that's it. So you can see it goes from 2 to 14 exclusive, the step of 2. So it stops at 12. Here we go with another example. This is very similar to the one we had here. However, we are going from 5,000 to 31,000 with a step of 5,000, and we are simply saying print GDP. GDP is being processed. However, we want to see how to break out of a loop. So we can process this, but we will see how to break out of this loop. So I'll do shift enter. And you can see it has gone all the way to 30 because you have a step of 5,000. Now, if we want maybe to stop at 20,000, it means we will do the printing. It won't loop back until it gets to this point. However, we can put a condition here. So I'll just go in here and put an if condition. So here we go. I will say, so it has to be inside this for loop. I will say if GDP, in other words, this value. So if GDP is equal to 20,000, print breaking away, then break. If you want, do not add this, but this is just there to let you know that we are about to break out of that loop. So if this so it's going to print it for the first one and check the condition. If it's not satisfied, it will go to the next one and so on. So you'll do the first one, second, third, fourth one, and then it will realize, wow, this condition is realized. It won't continue here. It will break out of that loop. Let's throw in Shift, Enter. And here we go. So you can see it has come out of that loop. It's quite important when we start playing around with data analysis in Python. So this is quite an interesting case where we are going to use continue. If you take a look at this, we still have our GDP numbers. Now it starts here. Traditionally, we just say print, okay? We have the loop and we print whatever is in here. However, when we come here, we don't start printing. We simply say, if this condition is met. However, if this condition is not met, it should continue. So it will start by checking this condition. So when it starts with 5,000. So it's going to check GDP is not equal to 5,000. So it will not execute this. So this will be printed. Now it will go on to 10,000. It's not met. It will go to 15. Once it gets to 20,000, this condition is met. It's going to print this value. And then it says continue. Continue means print this string, continue, so it just skips to the next, to 25. So there will be no printing of 20,000 because this condition has told it to continue to the next one. So let's run it and see what happens. So Shift Enter, and here we go. We say 5, 10, 15. When it goes to 20, it's going to print continue to the top, and then it's going to continue to the end. So this is another interesting case. In this case, we simply run the same loop similar to the previous one. It starts by checking the condition. So we are saying it should look from 10,000 to 62,000 with a step of 10,000. So it's going to start with 10,000, then 20,000, 30. When it gets to 40,000, this condition is met. And then it's going to print this. Now pass simply tells it to continue printing. Continue wanted it to skip to the next one. Pass will make it continue printing, and then we will go on with that. It will just recognize, oh, we are at this part. We can say continue to the top, or we can simply say print yeah, let's say you were checking if the value was present. You can simply say it's present. So let's run it. Shift Enter. And here we go. It says you have that. Once you get to 40,000, you can say this value is present, and then you continue as if this was never there. So you could just take this out and it's going to print everything. However, let's say you are trying to find out if this value is present, and that's what it will do. So you can even get rid of this and you just want it to check if it's present. So if you do something like this, it's just there to check if it's present. Okay, let's say you want to check if that value is present. Let me just take it to, I'll copy it and paste it here. Let's say we just want to check if that value is present. This is what we are going to do. So you have that and you simply do that and you run it. I'll do Shift Enter. And it tells us the value is present. That's all what you wanted to know. Now, this is it for all those conditions we've been taking a look at. In the next video, we are going to move on to something else where we are going to look at dictionaries, sets, and so on and so forth.